they got everything to win in this game. This is not the place where they're going to get their points to be among the best 24 in this unbelievable big tables. So yeah, my tip is 2-2.
Hi and welcome to the Fussball channel, and for this Champions League preview special on the German teams, we will mention the Europa League as well, but mainly to discuss the teams in action in the Champions League. We have Bayern and Eintracht playing tomorrow. We have Leverkusen and Dortmund playing on Wednesday, and Dad, we'll start with the two teams playing tomorrow. It is Bayern and our dear Eintracht. Bayern off to a strong start against Chelsea, 3-1. You were there on Friday to see them then in terms of their prequel to this game, and they're playing Pafos away, the Cyprian champions, and by all expectations you'd expect it to be a pretty standard win for Bayern.
This is the stories of a Champions League, Marcus. Norwegian team Bodø/Glimt is playing Tottenham tomorrow as the AstroTurf in North Norway. And it's the same for Pafos. Can you believe that? They follow especially Premier League, but also German League. And of course, Bayern is one of the biggest brand of football coming there. So it's going to be a celebration of everything, but they're not good enough at all. Bayern is so professional this season. You can't see them lose, which is not a bad skill to have. Kompany has made them look very professional, playing with an attitude all the time. And if he has found that way of balance the team on and off the pitch. But Pafos is a fantastic story. With Pafos FC is a newly founded club. Is it 10 years ago or something?
Yeah,
we talked,
like
Martin,
that,
when you sent me. Yeah, and I saw the thing is in the first game they got a draw at Olympiacos, which was a good result for them. So yeah, it's a fantastic day, but there's nothing. I mean, if Bayern loses that, then FC Hollywood, and there will be an earthquake in Munich again. So I can't see that happen at all.
Before I ask you for the result, Dad, there seems to had been a lack of FC Hollywood lately at Bayern, and that's to Bayern's and the internal structures gain, and then for the media less so. I believe it was the chief of Bild or something of the kind that praising Kompany, but then ending it with there is a certain boredom around him, and obviously boredom is good, right, for Bayern. But how do you see that in terms of the impact Kompany's brought into that, and obviously with the added context of Champions League really being the avenue in which Bayern properly show their qualities?
Well, it's probably for some of our listeners not to understand what's going on at Bayern. There's so many journalists, there's so many pundits, there's so many former Bayern players who have opinion on Bayern. I mean, there are podcasts all over the place. I mean, our Bayern insider, there is another one, Torben Hoffmann, who used to work for Sky. I saw him on Friday, and they have something called Misan Fia. So they're doing all kind of Bayern stuff. But as you were saying, I mean, if you're a journalist, if you're an investigated journalist, you need something going on. But it's not. And you're right. I talk with a lot of Bayern journalists now, and they're a bit bored because nothing happening. And for me, that is a big compliment to Kompany, because Kompany is kind of the glue in the middle there. Christoph Freund is not a revolutionary anyway. Max Eberl, in a way that sometimes he has his heart on his tongue, so he kind of comes out with, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and if they don't, he's not happy with that, and so he's always there for a headline, but still. And then Uli Hoeneß, of course, went to double pass and had statements all over the place, but somehow. Because if you have a conflict, Marcus, we know that if that is in a marriage or is in normal life or a different other profession, you need someone who jumps on it. And Kompany never jumps on it. He is a very clever of kind of answering nothing and still answer the question. I'm not saying he's bored. I just say he's a great leader. Mm-hmm. And somehow they found that kind of balance in the team now. So I will give a great compliment to Max Eberl and Christoph Freund as well. Of doing that. You have now this weekend, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge was 70. Congratulations to him, one of the greatest player of his generation. He'll be up there discussing the top 25 of the world, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, playing for West Germany, Bayern, Inter, of course. And there is always saying, he talked about Voltemade, too expensive, Wirtz, picked the wrong club and all that kind of thing. But if you ask Kompany about that, he would say, no, that's not my business. They have to sort that. I work with the players I have, and wow, he's working very good with them.
Yes, indeed, and from a point of
the Champions League is like with Champions League is Marcus the standard here. So Champions League the win against Chelsea, massive for them, because that shows you that you're there. Chelsea up there, world champion, club world champion. You're up there among the best. Invest a lot of money, which was very important for them.
It'll be interesting to see if Harry Kane is rested and whether Nicholas Jackson gets a few minutes. Obviously, there is the strain and the expectations on Harry Kane as well. We will see, though I'm sure he wants to play and add to his incredible Champions League record. But Dad, let me get a prediction. What's the result you think? Let's have a little fun with it.
Yeah, I did that very statistically here. So I would say Pafos 0, Bayern 3.
Standard Champions League away.
If Kane is not playing, I would probably say because Jackson is not for me a natural goal scorer, but if Harry Kane is playing, it can even be more.
And we can do a separate episode on how many natural goal scorers are existing in European football.
Exactly.
At the moment.
Some of them.
Some of them. We'll save that for another episode. But
yeah.
Let's go into Eintracht, Dad. They have someone like Johnny Burkardt, not quite Kane quality, but Johnny Burkardt, I believe, has 3 goals on the trot, I think, in all competitions. So he's finding some goal scoring form, but they're playing away to Atletico Madrid, Dad. And what kind of expectations can we hope for a high flying Atletico Madrid following their 5-2 win against Real Madrid?
And 2-2, they go back to 2-2 at Anfield, and then at the end 3-2, of course. Bayern this weekend, of course, Bayern got against them. Glasner's Crystal Palace winning 3-2, which was 2-1. 3-2 they lost at Anfield. So, but I still, of course, I do this with a heart, Marcus. I will never tip. Rather, it's hard for me to tip a Bayern for Eintracht Frankfurt loss. So I go for a 2-2, Marcus. I think that Bayern and what is going on here? Eintracht Frankfurt is a team that do funny results. Even at the Galatasaray game, they're winning 5-1 in that game, which was unbelievable. You know, there's so many Turkish fans in Germany. There are so many good players that's been signed by Galatasaray, and they're ending up winning 5-1. So I just hope for one of those crazy games again. And I think the basic for Eintracht Frankfurt, they got everything to win in this game. This is not the place where they're going to get their points to be among the best 24 in this unbelievable big tables. So my tip is 2-2.
A real test for Topmüller and Eintracht. But bear in mind, Atletico Madrid, despite winning 5-2 against Real Madrid, who were in big form, 6 straight wins to start the season. They've let in 12 goals in 8 competitive matches. The win against Real Madrid was their third in 7 league games, their third win in 7 league games. So there's definitely opportunities here for Eintracht to have a chance. I definitely think they will score. And then we look at some of Eintracht's result, and in the last 2 games, they've conceded 4 against Gladbach and Union Berlin. And then there's different circumstances around that. But I think that will be a pretty fun game and a real good test for Eintracht in terms of where they are. But they've gone away to Spain and got some great results before, namely the one in the Champions League on that fantastic Europa League run. That concludes the Tuesday games. I need the result. You said 2-2, so we got that covered.
Yeah, I said 2-2. Yeah, got covered. No, just saying that just before I came on, now, while I waited for you, I got a text. We have to name drop a bit also on the Fussball channel from Axel Hjulmand. Just landed, and because I noted to him the crazy game in the weekend, so they just landed now. So they look forward to it. There is a tradition of Bayern. What's wrong with me too? I can't say Bayern all the time when I say Frankfurt. But for Eintracht Frankfurt doing well in Europe. I mean, they have been high flying in Europe. Of course, Champions League is something else. But this is a funny team. This is a kind of young lads that you can see getting something out of that. And as you were saying, the 5-2 win for Atletico Madrid was more the exception than the standard for Atletico this season. So let's see. I hope they will enjoy it. I mean, I'm very jealous on the players who can go out on a fantastic stadium, a fantastic atmosphere in Madrid to play that game.
Going on to Wednesday, we got Dortmund, who played a rather uncharacteristic 4-4 draw against Juventus. We mean that because they only conceded 3 goals in the league, they have 4 consecutive clean sheets. They've looked otherwise pretty solid, but no one to score 4 goals either. Well, it was 4-4 away against Juventus, which at the time was a pretty good result. They now go at home to Athletic Bilbao, who lost to Arsenal in the first game, and a real chance for Dortmund to get their first win of the campaign and become one of the main contenders in the Champions League, which will always be an expectation for Dortmund considering their European records.
Yeah, and even when they have bad season, they go to the finals, which is not a bad skill.
Yeah.
I follow that Arsenal game. Williams played, but that was the big brother who played. The young brother was injured, so we'll see if he comes back. He's fantastic. You remember he played in the European Championship. Williams and the young kid from Barcelona, Yamal, they were doing fantastically for them. But yes, as you were saying, this is a good chance for them. Dortmund would have, of course, grabbed a point before the game against Juventus, because Juventus has been doing well in Serie A this season. So they would have grabbed a point, but 4-2 up, I think they want to take that back now. Bilbao, on the other hand, as you were saying, losing 2-0. Good substitution from Arsenal, Martinelli and Trossard coming on and scoring for Arsenal. So it's a big game, but my tip, Marcus, will be Dortmund win 2-1.
Yeah, they are strong at home. Athletic Bilbao losing to Villarreal at the weekend, 10th, I believe, in the league. And that brings us over to Leverkusen, who drew away to FC Copenhagen, Dad, and they take on PSV Eindhoven at home. Kasper Hjulmand has, I wouldn't say he's brought an excitement back to Leverkusen per se, but maybe he's brought a stability back to Leverkusen, which, while they won't, of course, hit the heights that they did under Alonso, or at least not quite yet, but there is at least something resembling a structure, a foundation that Leverkusen can build from.
Well, I think you can go even further. It brought life back to the club. I mean, I was the Leverkusen. You remember that? I saw Leverkusen beating Eintracht Frankfurt 3-1. I was there talking to people. And I mean, I understand it was considered to fire him before the season starts, Erik ten Hag. So, I mean, there is something gone so unbelievably wrong. I mean, the matter is not why they fired him. I mean, the big thing is why they hired him, because, of course, that comes on Rolfes, that comes on Caro. And then you have the stories that Caro was a bit skeptical, but Rolfes was sure about that. And we discussed that, Marcus. I thought that, okay, they're going to take 5-6 key players out, so maybe you need a strong hand of Ten Hag to do that, but somehow that didn't match at all. And Kasper Hjulmand is another guy. I said in the interview we had with him with ESPN, he was talking about seeing people in the eyes. I mean, that is a new way of seeing things. The small details, all of body language, how you react to each other. I don't think that was on the top of the agenda of Erik ten Hag. But as you were saying, first Champions League game in Copenhagen, that is how footballs make stories. He was the national coach of Denmark, of course, coming back to Parken in Copenhagen, 2-2 there. He didn't blame. It could be a terrible game for you if you lost, but they will win. And my tip, Marcus, for that game is 2-0 Dortmund. So I think it's going to be a good German Champions League week, I think.
And no German bias at all, but fair results at that. We also have to mention the fact that Freiburg, they take on Bologna away. They beat Basel 2-1 at home. Osterhagen.
It's a local derby, Freiburg and Basel, not far away. If you know your geography, it's so close to each other, these two clubs. A lot of Basel fans usually go over to Freiburg to see Bundesliga. Shaqiri playing there. I was a very good interview with him in Kicker. He's coming back there at the end of his career, so successful, winning the league. So it was fun to listen to him again. I always liked him. He's a good character.
Yeah, good Bundesliga veteran, legend, call it what you may. But it is Basel, actually. They go and play Stuttgart. Stuttgart go away to play Basel. So Stuttgart, it's a Freiburg or Bologna Freiburg, and then it's Basel Stuttgart as well. And Stuttgart started the campaign well. They won 2-1 at home to Celta Vigo. through Bonami and Al Khnous. And yeah, it will be another good matchup. It's been two good starts for the Europa League teams in Freiburg and Stuttgart, and then Mainz back in Europe, and they are opening their Conference League campaign, and they travel to Omonia and yeah, have their group stage opener in Mainz.
Omonia is Cyprus, Omonia Nicosia.
Yes,
is Cyprus, so they will be on the same plane as Bayern. Now Bayern will go home before that. I heard, I saw Bayern
1 and 2, Pafos and Omonia. We have to admit that our knowledge of Cyprian football isn't quite up there, but 1 and 2.
Oh, no. I won't admit that, Marcus, because you know Henning Berg, my mate,
yeah. I'll give you that.
Friend of the family when you were a kid, Marcus. He's doing well, did well after his career as a coach. So we follow Cyprus League as well. I don't have too many shirts. I don't know every starting 11s, but it's interesting country because you have so different kind of investments in there, as we were talking about Pafos, a newly founded club and all that kind of thing. So it's interesting to follow, but so let's see what Mainz can do there. I think that Bayern, there is more, not so risky to bet on them to win against Pafos.
Be interesting. It's good with European nights as well. That concludes our European preview as well. And then let's hope your predictions are correct. And then yeah, we'd love to hear what you think. Go to our YouTube channel, where we also have our community page where you can engage with us further. But for now, auf Wiedersehen.
And if you want a risky bet, it's Bodø/Glimt beating Tottenham at AstroTurf in North Norway. You heard it here first. Auf Wiedersehen.